over the Mid-South. Thank you for joining us tonight on Fox 13 News Live at 10 o'clock. I'm Greg Coy. Officer Scotty Tripplett, he was killed Saturday. A driver hit his police motorcycle while Tripplett was on escort duty. And Fox 13's George Brown joins us now live. George, you had a chance to speak with those other officers who had a chance to work with him and knew Officer Tripplett best.
That's right, and there were so many people who wanted to talk about him, and it was great because I really got a feeling that I knew him. So many people basically said he looked like a big tough guy, but really he was kind of a teddy bear. I mean, he could be tough when he needed to be, but most of the time was a teddy bear. And someone who, when he was on duty, if he was pulling somebody over and he could tell they were kind of nervous, he could get them to relax, and often he'd even have them laughing by the time they were done.
And it's really close to home.
Sergeant Kyle Lane knew Officer Scotty Tripplett well. Lane spent several years riding with Tripplett, who he said was a mentor.
One word that I would use to describe Scotty is an encourager.
Sergeant Lane remembers how nervous he was on his first escort, and Officer Tripplett knew it.
He keyed up over the radio and said, "Good job, Kyle." And it meant a lot to me that he encouraged me over the radio in front of everybody when I was young and new.
A few miles down the road in DeSoto County, the words of praise for Officer Tripplett continued.
If you wanted the definition of an approachable police officer, it'd be him. Big smile, most carefree attitude of any officer pretty much I've ever met.
Deputy Greg Stacks rode in many escorts with Tripplett. He said even though they were in different departments, they were close.
If you were escorting with him, you were going to hear jokes on the radio. That was the kind of guy he was, just to kind of lighten the mood. And
talk about kids, hunting, riding motorcycles. We're both bald-headed, tattooed, awesome guys.
That's Deputy Jack Fullwood, a longtime friend of Scotty Tripplett. They were close. They joked about looking alike, with Fullwood being just a little shorter. He still hasn't processed his loss, saying his thoughts are with the Tripplett family and the officers in Scotty's motor unit.
He was just that fun, huggable guy that you just wanted to be around. He was a good hugger, too. I'm going to miss that.
The hugs, the laughs, and the love of his family. Those are the thoughts Officer Scotty Triplett's friends say they'll keep with them off and on the job.
A hugger, that's something that I heard from several people today, and you saw him laugh a little bit about that. The officer's family is going to be taken care of. You can imagine the community is going to gather around them. In fact, there's a rodeo this week in DeSoto County for motorcycle officers from around the area. They're going to raise money and give that to his family. And something they asked me to pass on to you. So if you're near a motorcycle officer, do what you can to make them safer. Don't slow down if they get behind you. That's like the most dangerous thing for them. Don't pull out in front of them. That should be pretty obvious. And the biggest thing they say is staying off your phone, staying focused on the road, which is what we really all should be doing. Reporting live in Memphis, George Brown, Fox 13 News.
Great advice, George. Thanks a lot. Tonight, Fox 13, we have new details about the death of that Memphis police officer. Police say a woman caused the accident that took Officer Scotty Triplett's life. Officer Tripplett was 47 years old. He was younger than me, and he invested 27 years with the Memphis Police Department. Fox 13's Dakari Tierney has details about the moments before his death.
27-year veteran Memphis police officer Scotty Tripplett was riding his department motorcycle at the time of the collision, escorting a group known as Slingshot of Memphis, some 200 people riding vehicles like this one. The group was heading downtown at about 4:45 Saturday afternoon after a Stop the Violence event nearby, escorted by Tripplett and close to 10 other officers. The group's organizer telling us Tripplett was close to the middle of the convoy on Hickory Hill Road when it happened. Police say a woman in a car turned in front of Tripplett, leading to the impact. Triplett's motorcycle burst into flames, its twisted and charred shell here. Tripplett was taken to the hospital where he died from his injuries.
I peeked and I seen him, and then the motorcycle was right there at that pole in our entrance where we come in.
17-year-old Jerica Jones happened to be outside at the time, she says, hearing the stomach-churning thud of impact.
It was like a bomb went off. And all the strikers paused, and everybody was jumping out their cars trying to run to get him some help.
And you said people were running from the restaurant over there, too?
Yeah, they were running from over there got a fire extinguisher and put out the fire.
Police not releasing details about the other driver, only saying she was detained after the accident. Tonight, Triplett's children and wife in mourning.
I feel bad about him and his family had to go through this.
Dakari Turner, Fox 13 News.
That fatal accident and the death of Officer Scotty Tripplett really bringing back some painful memories for another Memphis family. You might remember last March, an accused drunk driver hit and killed Memphis police officer Nicholas Blow as he was leaving the Rains police station. Tonight, I had a chance to speak to the father of Officer Blow, who told me that he and his family, they are praying for the Tripplett family.
I would like to say to the family of Officer Tripplett, you have our prayers and condolences.
Earl Blow can understand the pain for the family of Memphis police officer Scotty Tripplett, the 27-year veteran killed in a crash while on duty and driving his MPD motorcycle as an official escort. Blow lost his son Nicholas when an accused drunk driver plowed into him as Nicholas was leaving work.
That feeling I got when I got that phone call March 8th at 11 o'clock from the police department saying that my son had been in an accident.
Earl Blow told me that he found out about Officer Triplett's death through MPD's Twitter account. He immediately sent this reply, asking the public to offer prayers to the Tripplett family and Memphis police. Blow told me he even made a donation to the late officer's family.
As two families hurting, believe it or not. Sometimes we dismiss the police department as just at the police department, but as I have learned, and as his family will learn, that's a family too. And they lost a brother today.
What questions did you have the minute you heard what happened? Did you ask what happened? Why?
I'm willing to bet that Officer Tripplett was probably part of the procession with my son during his homegoing celebration and burial. So that thought went in my mind, and I'm thinking, okay, how could this take place? How could somebody not see this to get to clip an officer on a motorcycle?
Robert Earl Jackson, the man accused of killing Officer Nicholas Blow. He's going to have a court date on June 8th. He's been charged with aggravated vehicular homicide, drunk driving. That's according to his attorney who spoke to me tonight. MPD says the driver of the accident involved in Officer Tripplett still under investigation. We have some breaking news.